Good afternoon and welcome to Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching the closing bell. I'm Santosh Nair.
And I'm Yatin Mota.
Well, fairly exciting day in the markets today. Not much in terms of action if you were to look at stock prices, but the glitch at brokerage Finvasia, that was a major talking point on social media circles today. There was a technical glitch at Finvasia's end, because of which many brokers could not square off their positions. In fact, many of them which were using Shunya app said that they are finding a lot of trades which they had not done they had not entered in the first place. So quite a bit of commotion out there, Yatin.
Absolutely. Santo, I think there are two aspects to this entire glitch. One is a glitch wherein, the software fails really to execute your orders, or, fails to take your orders. It has been the case with Kotak Securities few days back, and, also Zerodha. Because there is a chance that the software at the broker's end does have a glitch, but whatever you said in with respect to people complaining that जो trades उन्होंने नहीं किए वो भी execute हो गए, तो that is a big concern area. But when we spoke to SEBI chairman a few months back during the first board meeting wherein there was a press conference, she made it clear that if there is a glitch in the broker software, it is the problem between the broker and the trader or the investor. SEBI will not be able to intervene because these are all system driven things. Probably you need to have your own backup, is what she said. तो मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि इन्वेस्टर्स को पिक एंड चूज करना चाहिए कौन सा ब्रोकर उनके लिए अच्छा है, कौन सा सिस्टम उनके लिए अच्छा है. ग्लिच तो ऑब्वियसली हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर हो या वेबसाइट हो, it is subject to technology, and technology can fail sometimes. So you have to be very careful. And the chairperson said that we are not meddling into a trader mindset, person who is sitting on the terminal full day and complaining about glitch. So the regulator also made it clear that there could be possibly no compensation that the investor or the trader might get in case there is a system glitch, because the system glitch might last for a few hours, few minutes, few seconds. And investors needs to be patient in the capital market. That is a SEBI mindset, that the investors should be protected, not the traders.
Well, and with that we quickly move on to the main market highlights for the day. Benchmark indices Sensex and Nifty ending higher for the 8th consecutive session today. Mainly it was shares from the IT sector which took a beating today after TCS fourth quarter numbers fell short of market expectations. Also, the management commentary was also viewed by analysts as being a bit guarded. Fair bit of interest seen in banking shares. Interestingly, Realty shares also witnessed a good run up today. Overall, among the prominent losers of the day, we had shares mostly from the technology sector, which were TCS, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, HCL Tech, and also saw some bit of selling pressure in NTPC. And among the prominent gainers of the day, you had Eicher Motors and also Power Grid.
Absolutely, and Santo, today the entire IT pack, which was the top gaining sector yesterday, became the top losing sector. So clearly IT pack and big boy Reliance Industries that had disappointed the markets. Nevertheless, Infosys के results आएंगे इस हफ्ते, उस पर भी नज़र रहेगी, और HDFC बैंक सैटरडे को है तो उस पर नज़र रहेगी. तो देखते हैं रिजल्ट सीजन कैसी शेपअप होती है ये 3-4 कंपनियों के लिए.
And with that, let's move on to the stocks on our watch list this afternoon, starting with Ashok Leyland. Brokerage house Goldman Sachs has initiated coverage on the commercial vehicle major with a neutral rating and a target price of 140 rupees, which is not very distant from where the stock is quoting right now. In fact, the stock has been one of the underperformers during the recent market rally. Now, according to Goldman Sachs, some bit of normalization in commercial vehicle sales is expected. The last 2 years were pretty good, and now that will normalize as the CV sales are entering the mid phase, according to Goldman Sachs. Also, Goldman Sachs says that EBITDA or operating profit for Ashok Leyland could grow by about 25% over the next 3 years. This would be largely driven by steady progress in its LCV segment. And at the same time, the broker has also listed some of the upside risks as in where the stock could perform better than what Goldman Sachs is expecting, and one of it is that lower discounting in commercial vehicles, and secondly, if the profitability, if freight rates go up and also the profitability of fleet owners improve, that could be other upside, which means that they will be investing more in additional trucks. So this could also be a boost for Ashok Leyland. At the same time, among the negatives, one of the things which Goldman Sachs has highlighted is that the company is currently investing in its EV business, and that could be a cash drain in the short term.
Absolutely, and Santo, not many know that Ashok Leyland has a subsidiary which operates buses in the UK. Switching is the company's name, and they've started supplying to Mumbai's BEST, which is the bus agency here. Beautiful buses, double-decker buses are also AC now because of Ashok Leyland. So a lot of state governments are also interested in the electrification of public transport. Also, I don't know how successful is the truck market with relating to EV, but yes, the small commercial vehicles are doing well with respect to EVs, and I think that is one space wherein Ashok Leyland is doing good job. Also, since we are talking autos, the second stock on my radar is Eicher Motors. अब आज Goldman Sachs का Eicher Motors पे भी initiating coverage आया 3660 के टारगेट के साथ, और ऑब्वियसली आइशर मोटर्स कमर्शियल व्हीकल्स भी बनाता है, लेकिन इनका जो मेन बिजनेस है वो है टू व्हीलर्स, विच इज़ रॉयल एनफील्ड. नाउ रॉयल एनफील्ड इज अ सेगमेंट वेर इन आप देखेंगे कि इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स मोटरसाइकिल बिजनेस को डिस्टर्ब नहीं कर सकती, बिकॉज वट एवर ईवीज हैव कम इन टू अ डिस्टर्बटेड इज द स्कूटर सेगमेंट. दैट इज वॉट बजाज ऑटो इज डूइंग, दैट इज वॉट हीरो मोटोकॉप इज डूइंग. तो ब्रोकरेज को लगता है कि जो रॉयल एनफील्ड सेगमेंट है विच इज़ 250 cc प्लस, वहाँ डिस्ट्रप्शन आना मुश्किल है इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स का. नंबर वन. नंबर टू, रूरल मार्केट्स और अच्छे लॉन्चेस की पाइपलाइन कंपनी को आगे जाके ग्रोथ कन्वर्ट करने में मदद करेगी. और जो 650 cc यानी जो बड़ी बाइक्स हैं, सुपर बाइक्स जिसको हम बोलते हैं, यहाँ अगर कंपनी ने मार्केट शेयर गेन किया तो मार्केट शेयर गेन का फायदा तो होगा ही, लेकिन मार्जिन्स में भी इंप्रूवमेंट होंगे. तो यही तथ्य है जिसके कारण आइशर मोटर्स पे भी गोल्डमैन सैक्स बुलिश है.
Well, clearly there's been mixed broker views on.
Yes, yesterday there was a Jeffries report which
struck a very cautious
yes,
note, and
yes.
One of the reasons was also the fact that competition now is heating up. Also, volumes and margins is something that Jeffries is a bit cautious about on Eicher Motors. The last stock on my watch list is Nippon Asset Management. Now the stock has been one of the steady outperformers over the last couple of weeks. In fact, the stock has rallied by about 18% in barely 2 weeks. Overall, asset management companies have had a rough patch over the last couple of years. Inflows into mutual funds, particularly equity inflows, were steadily rising, but at the same time the stocks were simply not performing. But what has also happened in the process is that stock prices kept declining, but at the same time the performance has been fairly steady for most asset management companies. There has been no major decline in that, although the profits have not risen much, they have not fallen either. So Yatin, it looks like there seems to have been now an equilibrium point where prices have fallen so low that investors feel there's the downside, or rather the risk reward ratio from these levels could be attractive, which is perhaps why they've started nibbling into asset management stock, though it's early to say whether you can really expect a big upside, but at least some kind of bottom seems to have been formed for now.
And viewers, Santo keeps on writing a lot about AMC companies and their expenses, and last time SEBI chairperson really acknowledged our article on Moneycontrol, which you had spoken about as to how really certain AMC companies are circumventing the system and trying to show extra expenses which eventually get paid to distributors or brokerages from the pockets of investors. So what the SEBI chairperson said in the last board meeting, Santo, acknowledging your article, that they will not allow such a circumvention, because the letter of the law is one thing and the spirit of the law is one thing. So the regulator really doesn't want AMC companies to go out and blow up investors' hard-earned money into showing other expenses or expenses which are out of that TER, which is the total expense ratio. So I think because of you, there was you know, a lot of underperformance which came in the AMC stocks, and now listen in, he's saying that probably the tide will turn.
Okay. Slight correction here, Yatin. The article was indeed on Moneycontrol, but the total expense ratio article, that was the one written by Kaizad. I think you should.
Yeah. But you know, it is all Moneycontrol, and you have also you know, spoken about as to how really you know, mutual funds are trying to meddle around with their expenses.
Well, thanks you being kind there, Yatin.
So you know, apart from that, obviously AMC companies are there, and they have been doing well since IPOs. Then there was a phase wherein there was underperformance, and now there is some respite in terms of fund action. But the last stock on our radar today is Zee Entertainment Enterprises. The stock has been underperforming and it has been battered from levels of 280 recently. Zee की आज NCLT हियरिंग थी, मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली हियरिंग कंटिन्यूड रहेगी लीगल एक्सपर्ट्स के हिसाब से, लेकिन और एक चीज़ का ओवरहैंग NCLT के अलावा इस स्टॉक पे आ चुका है, वो है ओपनहाइमर का लॉक इन खुलना. अगर आपको याद है तो अक्टूबर 2022 में ओपनहाइमर ने अपने OFI चाइना फंड से शेयर्स बेचे थे, और वो शेयर्स की जो कंडीशंस थी वो 180 डेज का लॉक इन था, लगभग 6 महीने का लॉक इन था, और वो 6 महीने का लॉक इन अप्रैल 18 को खुलने वाला है. ऑब्वियसली ज़रूरी नहीं है कि OFI चाइना आके शेयर्स बेचे, लेकिन इफ़ यू गो बाय द पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस, आफ्टर द लॉक इन ओपन्स प्रॉब्ली दे वुड वांट टू एग्जिट. अभी OFI चाइना जो कि ओपनहाइमर इन्वेस्टको के फंड्स हैं, उनके पास लगभग लिटिल ओवर 5% हिस्सेदारी है, और ये भी एक शायद शॉर्ट टर्म में ओवरहैंग हो सकता है, क्योंकि NCLT की जो मर्जर प्रोसेस है सोनी के साथ, यहाँ भी आपने देखा है काफ़ी सारे लेंडर्स ने ऑब्जेक्शन उठाए हैं. तो वो रेजोल्यूशन कभी होता है वो तो समय ही बताएगा, लेकिन हाँ, उसके अलावा सैंटो ये भी एक ओवरहैंग जी के शेयर प्राइस पे आ चुका है.
Well, and thanks for those insights, Yatin. And with that, it's a wrap on this episode of Closing Bell. Thank you for watching.
जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. लॉन्ग वीकेंड है, एंजॉय कीजिए, अगले हफ्ते मिलेंगे.
Yes, Monday 9 a.m. Till then, for all news, views, analysis, stay logged on to moneycontrol.com.